Hi, boys and girls. It's time to learn time. So go ahead and open up your chapter 9 book. I know we didn't work on the measurements. Like I said before, Miss Guidry's gonna be skipping around so we can at least hit the main points of these chapters. Go to page 389. Now, after we finish this lesson, if you want to go back and finish those measurement pages, get some extra practice. Please do it. Please, please, please. But for right now, for this lesson, for these assignments this week that you have to turn in, go ahead and turn to page 389. So if you can hear, Miss Guidry has a clock dinging right here. So we're going to learn about clocks, and I'm going to show you all my little clock. It's a really, really old clock. So let's just take a look at this clock for a second. There's two hands on a clock. There's a short hand, which is called the hour hand. Y'all say hour hand. And then the long hand, which is called the minute hand. We're going to be learning about the hour hand today. So we see a bunch of numbers on the clock. How many numbers do we see? We see 12. So it starts off at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, so the numbers go this way. And when the numbers go this way, this is called clockwise. So if you ever hear someone say go clockwise, that means you have to go towards your right. So the numbers start going down to your right. If you're going this way and you're counting backwards, that is called counterclockwise. So that's two neat little fancy terms that you probably hear a lot and probably never really knew exactly what it meant. So now you know what it means. So we're going to learn about the hour hand today. And we're going to also do some things working with the minute hand. But for our assignment today, we're going to do the hour hand. Now, after this assignment, if you want to move on and do chapter 9.7, after you do your assignments that are due for the week, please do it. All right, so everybody should be on page 389. If you're not on page 389 yet, just pause my video and catch up. All right, so this shows a clock. We just looked at Miss Guidry's clock, right? So we're going to look at our numbers, and we're going to figure out what numbers are missing from the clock. So this is the number line that matches our clock. There's 12 numbers. So we have 1, 2, what are we missing right here? Yep, we're missing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What comes after 8? 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, so now we're going to look at our clock and figure out what numbers are we missing from the clock. So we have 1, 2, 3. 3 is always right here. 4, 5. What's right here? What comes after 5? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. So now we're going to draw our hands, okay? And we're going to draw, let's say right now it's 5 o'clock. So we're going to draw 5 o'clock because that's what it is right now on Miss Guidry's clock. So if I'm pointing to 5 o'clock, if my clock is saying 5 o'clock and we're looking at it, so let's pretend that this clock is 5 o'clock, okay? Because it's a little after 5 actually. But we would do the short hand would be on the 5 and the long hand would be on the 12. When we see the short hand on the 5 and the long hand on the 12, that means it's 5 o'clock. If the short hand was on the 6, that means it's 6 o'clock. So if it's ever on the 12, that means it's o'clock. So 00, 0. If we have a digital camera, a digital clock, it would say 6.00 or 5.00 because it's on the 12. All right. So 12 means o'clock. What does 12 mean? O'clock. Good job. All right. So 5 o'clock. That means my long hand has to be pointing to the 12. And my short hand has to point where? To the 5. So I'm making my long hand and I'm making my short hand. So this is my short hand. Short hand doesn't go all the way to the 5. It only goes a little bit towards the 5. And the long hand goes all the way to the number. So this means it's 5 o'clock. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next page. Page 390. Miss Guidry's going to try to keep on videoing and see how this works. So, what does this clock show? The hour hand points to the what? It points to the 3. So, it's showing that it's 3. It says it's 3 o'clock. So, what do we need the minute hand to point? We need the minute hand to point to the 12 for it to say 3 o'clock. So we're going to write 3 ... When we're writing our times, we always put 2 dots on top of each other. O'clock. All right. So now this one doesn't have any minute hand. So we're going to draw our minute hand so we can practice that. And we're going to practice what time it is. So what is this one pointing to? This one is pointing to 9. I'm going to put my ... And it'll be o'clock, which is 00. So I need to point the arrow to the 12. Number 2. And it's pointing to the what? The 1. So 1 ... 0 0. Because we're going to make it say 1 o'clock. Number 3. We have 11. We want it to say 11 o'clock. So 11 ... 0 0. And we have to make the big hand point to the 12. All right, number 4. That would be what o'clock? 5 o'clock? 4 o'clock? Nope, 6 o'clock. So we would do 6 ... O, and we're going to make our hand go all the way up to the 12. Now, if I want to write out the words 6 o'clock, I can say 6 O, apostrophe at the top, apostrophe CLOCK. So that's writing it out. But if you're writing it out in numbers, we do 6 ... 0 0. All right. What is this one? Is it 12? Nope. What is the little hand pointing to? It's pointing to the 7. So we want it to say 7 o'clock. Now number 6. 5. We want it to say 5 o'clock. Miss Guidry was writing o'clock. All right. So now practice doing this one on your own. And we can go ahead and skip to page 392 and we're going to do the problem solvings together. So this one, do on your own. Get some extra practice. And this one, we're going to do the problem solving. So number 16, which time is not the same? Not the same. So this is showing what? 11 o'clock. So we're going to write our time up here so we know. And this is showing 1 o'clock. So which time is not the same? 1 o'clock or 1 o'clock? This one, 11, is not 1 o'clock. This is the same. 1 o'clock is the same and 1 o'clock is the same. So this one is showing that it's not the same because this is actually saying 11 o'clock. Number 17, this is our hot problem. Manny leaves for school at 8 o'clock. Write and draw to show 8 o'clock. So 8 ... o'clock. So now we have to draw it. So our little hand, which is our owl hand, hour hand points to the 8. And the big hand points to the 12 because it's 8 o'clock. I forgot to draw my hands up here. All right, look at the hour hand. What is the time? So looking at this, what is the time? What is the time? It is 2 o'clock. Awesome. Now go back and do page 391 by yourself. And after you do that, complete the assignment. Talk to you guys later.